Good morning, Patriots brothers and sisters. It is exactly 7:30 a.m. and I'm recording this and not doing it live. So please share this video because Facebook is not going to promote it. Okay, that's just the way that it works. They like to promote their lives, but I want to mess around with a little bit of editing software and see what I can do with this. And then if I don't post this video, then I screwed it up. So if you're seeing this, I might have done something right. Anyways, so I was watching Fox News this morning and the Surgeon General gets on there and says we all have to wear our masks. We all have to wear our masks. For some reason. He says it's to slow the spread. I thought we slowed the spread. I thought the intention was 14 days to slow the spread so we didn't overwhelm the hospitals. Then the hospitals were never overwhelmed. We had ships in the harbors in the biggest cities that were never used. We had tent hospitals set up that were never used. It never happened. The estimates given were way overinflated and didn't happen. And here we go again. The numbers are on a rise. They keep touting these numbers. These numbers of infected. These numbers of infected are on a rise. On a rise. The numbers of affected in Missouri. They're touting the numbers. There's 397,318 as of today. Today is July 3rd, if you're watching this at a later date. We're all going to die because we're all going to get infected. Well, a half a percentage of you probably will. That's a lot of people, and I don't want anybody to die. But I don't want anybody to panic over nothing because that's what this is. What do you mean, Mike? What do you mean? What do you mean, Mike? All the Karens are telling me I got to wear masks. I got to wear masks. Well, you should wear a mask if you feel like you need to wear a mask. I'll have you know that if you come down to my business, it's a mask-free zone, not a gun-free zone. Just saying. In Missouri, there's 397,318 tested, not infected. Or maybe there is. Depends on how you do math. See, math is a very important thing when it comes to these numbers. It's kind of like being in school and the teacher says to you, I want you to solve this equation. And here's the equation. There's 397,318 people tested. Now solve it. Can you solve that equation? No, me neither, because I don't have all the information needed. I don't even know what answer they're wanting to get. Well, there's 397,318 people tested. And I said infected at the beginning, so I did that on purpose because if you do the multiplication, but anyways, I'll let you do that for yourself. There's 21,703 people who have tested positive. Not necessarily infected. They've tested positive. Most of them don't even have symptoms. But hey, we're trying to incite fear. What difference does that make? Need my coffee this morning. So let's just say, I'm going to give you an example. That is 5.4% of, they're saying 5.5 because they rounded up all the little numbers. I'm going to go with 5.4. I like it better. Of people tested. That means if they test a bazillion people, 5.4 is going to be infected. 5.4%. Now, 397,000 is almost, wouldn't you say, is almost 400,000? I mean, I would say that. Let's call it 400,000. Let's make the math easy. So let's say we doubled that number. Let's say by the end of July, they double that number and they test 800,000 people. You times the 5.4% times 800,000, it comes up with 43,200. Which is roughly double the 21,703, which is what you'd expect if you went to the same percentage. Because this thing is called math. Math is math. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. So, at the end of July, when they've tested 800,000 people, and we have in the neighborhood of 43,200 people that are infected, is that an increase? Is 43,200 greater than 21,700? No, it is not an increase. You see, follow the logic. If 400,000 people are tested and it leaves to 21,000 or 22,000, or because if you round up, you got to round up, it leaves to 22,000 infected, and 800,000 leads to 24,000 or 44,000 infected. That is the exact same number. That is not an increase. There is 5.5% of the population that is infected right now. Right now. So I want you to do some math. See, there's a thing called a formula. I didn't learn this crap in school. I was too dumb and dyslexic and they just passed me on. But you know, this thing called Google tells you how to do this. All you do is you take the little number. Okay? You want to figure out a percentage. You take the little number. So you take the 43,200 and you divide that into the bigger number, 800,000. So 43,000 into 800,000 will give you a number. It'd be like point something something. You multiply that number times 100 gives you the percent. It's real simple. You can figure out a percentage of anything that way. It works the opposite direction too. So if you got 5.4% and it stays at 5.4%, no matter how many people you test, the number stays around 5.4%. That is not an increase. That is the same. If it drops, that's a decrease. Now, if that number was to go up to 7 or 8% per se, then you can say people are increasingly getting infected by this virus. But that's not happening. They've increased the testing. That is all. The testing. And because they increased the testing, they've increased the numbers that they found infected, because the number of people infected is around 5.5%. So do your math. Do your math. There's 6,100,000 people in the state of Missouri. Multiply that number by 5.4%. If you don't know how to figure out that, by 0.054. Multiply that number, 0.054, 800,000, or excuse me, 6.1 million. That will give you the number of people who are currently infected on an average, on a percentage basis in the state of Missouri. And it's around, 400,000. Now, if that number grows, then you have growth. If that number shrinks, then you don't have growth. Don't let them manipulate you by only giving you one number, the number of people testing positive. It's the only number they give you. They don't tell you how many were tested, what's the percentage. They don't tell you that. The only true indicator of whether or not this is getting worse or getting better is that percentage number. What's the percentage of people tested to people infected? If that number, that percentage is not going up, then the infection rate is not going up. And they're lying to you and manipulating you and taking away your freedoms and forcing you to wear masks and shutting you down. The state of California says you can't sing in church. I have news for you, Governor Newsom in California. God says even the rocks will cry out. Boy, that'll be a day. I'd love to be there to see the look on your face. You can't sing in the church. But you can say no justice, no peace in the street. I smell a rat. How about you? Have a great day. Hey, do me a favor. If you watched it this far, share it, because Facebook isn't going to promote this video. Have a good one.